Okay, guys, Timmy coming at you here again. And today, what I want to do, and this is really important, I want to explain to you the three fundamental principles of the body. And when you're looking, I don't care if the body's working normally or it's in disease, you always look at what's going on based on these three fundamental principles. So one of the things you're going to hear a lot about this semester is maintaining homeostasis. So number one, oddly enough, the first fundamental principle of the body is that the goal of the body is to maintain homeostasis. And basically what that means is that the body has to maintain a balance. And if the body is out of balance, bad things happen to you, like you get sick, or worse yet, you die. You should write that down. Dying is bad for you. I think that's like, of the three things that could happen to you, like the top three things, I think number 2 or 3 is like dying. I think number 1 may be not reading the textbook. I'm not sure about that. But anyways, I digress. Watch. So the goal of the body is to maintain homeostasis. That means that you need that internal balance. And the most important part of the body to maintain that internal balance to is the core of the body. Let me show you. Watch. Remember, these guys, body cavities, watch out. Watch how this all relates. Timmy's hating. No, he's relating. He ain't hating. I'm educating. Oh, good. Here we go. Anyways, the core of the body is, of course, your brain and your pleural cavity, abdominal cavity, and I guess your pelvic cavity too. You can live without some of that stuff, but not very well. So watch. In the core of the body, that's where your vital organs are located. What does vital mean? You need them. Let me give you an example. Is the liver a vital organ? And I'm going to give you a hint because you guys are new. If an organ has the word live in it, you need it. So you need your liver. Now, watch, and this is really important. So what's the most important part of your body to maintain that internal balance to? The core of the body. That means that if the body is going out of homeostasis, whatever's happening, who cares right now? The body will sacrifice non-essential parts of your body in order to maintain homeostasis with respect to the core. Let me give you an example. Look at dude here, right? He ain't got no arms or legs, and he seems to be doing okay. Well, he ain't got no internal or vital organs either. But I digress. Who cares? Here's my point. Watch. Write this down. Never forget it. Ever. If you forget it, I'm going to tell. Watch. I'm going to read it real slow too. The cardiovascular system yeah. That's the heart and blood vessels. The cardiovascular system is the radiator of your body. The cardiovascular system sends nice warm red blood all over your body. So watch. Now think about it for a minute. If it's cold out, cold, what's the goal of the body? The goal of the body is to maintain a relatively constant body temperature of 98.6. I'll tell you more about that a little bit later, right? But if you're outside in the cold, maybe you decide to come over and shovel Timmy's sidewalk. Who knows? Out of the kindness of your cardiovascular system. Anyways, watch. If you start to get cold and you're not dressed appropriately, the cardiovascular system is the radiator of the body. It can hold on to heat or it can remove heat. So in this case, if your body temperature is cold, begins to get cold, right? What do you want to do? What's the most important part of your body to maintain homeostasis to? We're talking about one of the things you have to maintain is core body temperature, body temperature. So the most important part of your body to maintain that 98.6 is your core. Why? Because all your vital organs are in there and you need them. Can you live without your arms, legs, nose, toes? Yes, you can. But you can't live without your liver and your pancreas and your heart and your lungs. So what the cardiovascular system will do is it will cut off blood flow to the non-essential parts of your body and try to keep that nice, warm, red blood circulating in the core. Now, if you cut off blood flow to your skin and your arms and your legs, what does your skin, arms, and legs become? Well, watch. If you cut off blood flow to them, cut it out. The arms and legs are going to become pale, cold. What sends heat around the body? The cardiovascular system. But you cut off blood flow to your arms and legs. So it's going to be cold, pale, right? Your nail beds are going to get blue. And watch. If you cut off blood flow long enough, all cells need the stuff in the blood to live. If you cut off blood flow to your arms and legs, and your nose and your ears, because you can live without that stuff, if they're cut off long enough, that tissue dies. And you get a condition called frostbite. That's why people get frostbite. The body is doing stuff that makes sense. You were not bright enough to come in out of the cold, right? The body says, look, I got to keep my core warm. Why do I got to keep my core warm? Well, that's where all the vital organs are, right? I need that. I need that liver. So I'm going to cut off that blood flow to the non-essential parts of my body. And if Jasper here don't get into a nice warm house in a few minutes, I'm going to continue to have to cut off that blood flow to keep the core warm. And my hands and feet, nose and toes will become pale and blue and cold. And if he stays out there long enough, that tissue is going to die. And I'm going to get frostbite. That's why some people have to have limbs amputated as a result of exposure to the cold. So watch. What's the goal of the body? The goal of the body is to maintain homeostasis, right? A relative internal balance. What's the most important part of your body to maintain homeostasis to? The core. Why is it the most important part of your body to maintain homeostasis to? Because that's where all the vital organs are. Any non-essential part of your body, in times where the body is put under stress, like being out in the cold, your body will do what makes sense. The body always does stuff that makes sense. If the body is doing it, it makes sense to do it. So if you're out in the cold and you can't get any place warm, does it make sense to cut off blood flow to your extremities and your skin and send that nice warm blood that you got to the core of the body. Of course it does. And you guys need to remember that. The other one, the other fundamental principle, is the body always works on a concentration gradient. Stuff always moves from high to low concentration. So what I'm talking about is diffusion. So you need to study, read about diffusion. And when we get a little more deeper into the course, I'm going to explain that to you. So again, number one, the three fundamental principles of the body. What's the goal of the body? The goal of the body is to maintain homeostasis. That means a relative internal balance. Where? In the core of the body, right? And here's some things that have to be maintained. This is just a few of the things that you have to maintain a balance in order to do well. But these are important things. Watch. You got to maintain a balance in your body temperature. Right? You got to maintain a balance in your body's pH, right? Acid-base balance. You got to maintain a balance with respect to your body's blood sugar, right? So these are just three examples. But watch. One of the things that you're going to be responsible for is you're going to need to know, understand the process of three homeostatic mechanisms the body uses. And I have a video called 3 Homeostatic Mechanisms. So when you watch those things, you need to study them and understand a process. I don't want you to know that you have to control body temperature. I want you to understand and be able to explain how the body controls the temperature, how the body's blood sugar is maintained. That's learning. That's what you need to know. Because when you deal with people who are sick, who do have a fever, you'll understand why they do what they do, how you treat someone like that. So, again, what was the point of this video? The point of this video is to understand that there are 3 major fundamental principles of the body. The goal of the body is to maintain homeostasis. Stuff in the body always moves from an area of high concentration to low most of the time. It's still fundamental. And 3, the body always does stuff that makes sense. If the body's doing it, there's a reason it's doing it. All right? Thanks a lot. And we're going to move on. I hope you learned something.